Welcome everyone to this session. Today we delve into a topic that affects many of us, powerful women, and the nuanced challenges of gaslighting, manipulation, and targeting. And I would like you to take a moment to consider as you rise in your career and build success in your business, it becomes essential to recognize the potential threats that could undermine everything that you're working for. And the more that you've achieved, the more you stand to lose. Consider this. Are you truly doing enough now to protect your accomplishments and your well-being? I'd like for you to take a moment to realize that there's somebody who is here at this summit, in this session, who is being targeted. And we're here to address the hard truth that even the most accomplished among us can be targets. Consider the possibility that one of you, despite your accomplishments, is silently facing manipulation and gaslighting. This is not just a hypothetical, it's a reality for many powerful women. And our goal today is to equip you with the insights and the tools needed to recognize these patterns, to protect yourself effectively and other women in your circle. As we dive deeper, I want you to remember that you're not alone here, and together we can change the narrative and actually safeguard what you worked so hard to build. I am Brittanni Hendricks, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. I hold an MBA, and I am an ACC ICF certified coach. I'm the founder of my own coaching practice, BB Coaching, and I bring you a unique blend of corporate and HR expertise. I also have personal lived experience. And today we'll embark on a journey that not only informs you, but will empower. And you'll walk away with a deeper understanding of the 5 specific reasons why powerful women like yourselves are often prime targets. This knowledge is going to enable you to identify manipulative tactics before any real damage is done. And we'll also discuss the unseen career and financial costs that can arise. And I'll introduce you to a practical 3-step protection framework that you can start using immediately. And finally, I will share how you can continue to receive personalized support after today. And I want you to remember that this is more than just a session. This is about safeguarding what you've worked so hard to build. So let's dive in and equip ourselves with the tools that we need to thrive. As we begin part 1, I want to dive into the critical understanding of why you might find yourself as a target. First, it's important for you to recognize that being successful doesn't make you immune to targeting. It actually increases your vulnerability. And that might sound counterintuitive, but let's explore why. Successful women exude confidence. You are an extremely confident woman. You possess a vast array of skills and you hold significant influence. And those are precisely the qualities that make them appealing to target or appealing targets for those who want to exploit those strengths for their own gain. And I want you to remember that the very attributes that have driven your success and your ambition, resilience and dedication, are the same ones that manipulators may be fetching. And they might find them enticing. And this dynamic is the first step in protecting yourself and maintaining control over your narrative. It's first important to recognize that this is not random. It's strategic, it's calculated. As mentioned, powerful women, you have the confidence. You also have substantial financial resources. There's many women in this room who have wealth, who have assets, have earning power that can be tempting to those who are looking to exploit it. Even your professional reputation, your network, your credibility, those are attractive for those who want to leverage your influence for their own gain. Your high conscientiousness as a successful woman also means that you're dedicated to solving problems and including those interpersonal issues. So this can sometimes lead to giving others the benefit of the doubt, making excuses for much longer than you should. And your ambition, your drive, they do create a future trajectory that others want to tap into and they want to divert for their own purposes. So understanding this is key and important to protect yourself. Now that we have explored why successful individuals are targeted, I want to talk about this scenario and what it truly entails. And it's critical for you to understand that what you might experience is not just a bad relationship. It is a calculated campaign. I talk about manipulative targeting, and it also involves deliberate patterns of behavior. That's manipulation. And some people may use terms like sociopath. You may have heard of the term narcissism. But for the purpose of this, I want to focus on the behavior, which is the manipulation and the gaslighting. And it's not about a simple personality clash or communicating an issue that went wrong. There is an intentional confusion and emotional turmoil that is purposely designed to destabilize you. So I want to break down this 4-phase playbook here. And what they start with first is identifying the target, who's successful, who has resources, who has something that I want. Then they next will idealize. There's a lot of love bombing, a lot of admiration. They manufacture trust and connection before it's genuinely earned. It's fast, it's furious, it's very making you feel valued and mirroring and understanding everything. And it feels like, this deep attraction and intense connection. And then comes the infiltration, where it might sometimes feel like they're trying to isolate you. They may create financial entanglements. They may ask for money. They may ask for loans. They may ask for you to co-sign something to build a dependency. And then they finally extract. That's where the damage is done. It causes damage financially, emotionally, reputationally, and possibly even legal. And it's really important to understand that these phases are flags and signals for you to look for. And when you recognize these tactics, you can protect yourself and everything that you've worked for. You can begin to step back and unwind and see things in a different light. And you can also protect others from falling victim to those destructive patterns by recognizing it and having honest conversations with the women in your circle who you notice these things happening with. So today we are diving into this crucial topic, and I do want to recognize here that these are the red flags. I've mentioned quite a few, and this is the pattern. We talked about the love bombing. We talked about the mirroring. They are making you feel valued. They understand you. It's an intense connection. It's very calculated. We've talked about the financial entanglement and creating that sense of dependency. We've talked about isolation from your support network, your friends, family, or, they want to take up all of your time and it can be suffocating. They're constantly in communication. They're constantly wandering and interfering with time that you have scheduled for other things. And you find yourself more cut off from your friends, family, even some work obligations, projects that you're putting on hold, things that you want to do that are no longer happening. And during conflicts, number 5 here is most common. There's Darvo, deny, attack, and reverse, victim, and offender. This manipulation is used to control and to confuse you. And when you're constantly walking on eggshells, it's something that a signal it's wrong. Your career might start suffering. Your relationships might start suffering. Your focus and energy are diverted. It's meant to destabilize you. You want to start to look out for those inconsistent words and actions. They say one thing, they do another. And that's meant to destabilize your perception and trust. There's also a major red flag of boundary violations. If they're not respected, your personal boundaries, that's a sign of some deeper issues where you say you need something done by a certain time, you want some space, you want to do something, and you're not comfortable with something, and then there's a push to make you feel guilt for holding that boundary. And finally, you should trust your gut, trust your instincts. If you think something is off, it probably is. That's your first reliable indicator. And understanding all of this can empower you to protect yourself and your future. There is a massive cost that no one considers. There's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of confusion that comes in, but there's a cost that's not calculated until usually it's too late. And this is not just an issue in a relationship. This is a full-blown career and financial crisis masquerading as a relationship problem. And when you look back, you can see that there are a lot of staggering numbers here. For the average family court case, that can range from 15,000 to 50,000. And this doesn't even factor into the career opportunities that are lost during that turmoil. And 99% of these cases usually involve financial abuse. And it takes on average about 18 months for individuals to seek help from this. 18 months of career capital that is being drained. And it's a critical blow to your professional trajectory. There's chronic stress that can cloud cognitive function. There's cognitive decline. That's about 30% of cognitive decline, affecting the way that you think, the way that you operate, the strategies that you have in place for your business and for your career. So recognizing this earlier can help you pivot that trajectory and slow down and at least regain some of that functioning back. So in the next section, I do want to touch on tactics. And we will explore the 4 key here. And understanding does help you to begin reclaiming control over your business, over your success, your career, your finances, your time, and energy. So the first true sense here is deny. That's the first thing that you'll see. And it leaves you feeling confused. It leaves you feeling unsure about your own experiences. You'll hear things like, that never happened. You're imagining it. And that's an attempt to make you question your perceptions. And next, it's your credibility that gets attacked. Like, you're too sensitive. You're insecure. You're crazy. You're unstable. That's designed to make you undermine your confidence and doubt who you are and to break that confidence. Then next comes the reverse stage where they flip the situation on you, and suddenly you're the one that always does this, and you're the problem, and why is this always happening? Why do you do this? Why can't you just let this go? And they become the victim when you approach with a concern. And then in the victim phase, they begin to portray themselves as the one who's been wronged because you're calling out something that you're uncomfortable with. And they may say things like, look what you've done now. And they do something and then it's your fault. They respond and it's your fault. And they try to make you feel guilty. And there are times you may be apologizing for things that you have no business apologizing for. And finally, then you're painted as the offender. And that's where you're apologizing. You know that you didn't do anything wrong, but you apologize to help bring some peace to the situation. And it's not a misunderstanding of communication. This is a strategic tactic meant to manipulate you. And remember that you're not the problem here. Financial abuse is an often invisible threat that can dismantle everything that you have worked for before you even realize it. And because you are giving in kind and you have the resources, sometimes you want to give, you want to help, you want to provide. And it's crucial to understand, again, 99% of these cases involve some form of financial manipulation, and you remain unaware until the significant damage has occurred. The asking for money, asking for favors, and over time it's adding up. And I do want to explore some of the tactics used here. First, this pressure to combine finances. And they frame it as commitment. We need a joint bank account. We need a shared credit line, credit card. And it's supposed to be a gesture of trust, like I trust you. However, it's a tactic for them to gain control over your financial independence. And next, there may be a business entanglement. They may create a partnership proposed to create legal and financial ties that are difficult to untangle and that can bind you in ways that can be hard to escape. And we also see credit and loan exposure, where you might be encouraged to pressure or even co-sign on debt before the relationship is stable, and that puts your credit at risk. Co-signing on a car, co-signing on a loan for a home, for a property, for an asset that you may not even want. And another tactic involves the asset transfer pressure, which pressures you to move or shift ownership of your assets or add an authorized user to your account. And that erodes your financial security. Dependency building is also a key strategy, and they may construct a scenario where leaving is financially complicated and then it's designed to make you feel trapped. And lastly, the reputation leverage. That's used as a control tool. They make threats to your professional standing, try to create fear and compliance, and further entangle you. So understanding these is so key to safeguard your financial independence and maintain control over your life. You have worked so hard, and this is happening all too often. So I want to now talk through how to protect your future. This is the key, and I'll provide you the strategic framework that is designed to help you recognize these threats and shield your assets that you've worked for so you can continue to progress forward. And the first is to recognize and claim your power back. This framework is a strategic approach to safeguarding your financial and personal well-being. I call this the playful power protection framework because I have a framework in playfulness and things that I do in life in playfulness because that was a part of me that was lost in my own personal experience. I have always been someone who enjoys life, who wants to experience things, to have fun. And I noticed a lot of shrinking happening. And so this framework was built to design that playfulness and getting that power back. And first, it's to recognize, what is this vocabulary here? Your instincts, your nervous system, those are your allies, and you have to trust them. You can't try to excuse away why you may be feeling something or then convince yourself you're overthinking, overreacting. It's important to stop rationalizing those feelings, because you can start identifying the financial exposure and vulnerabilities that you might have. Next is then to protect. This is about securing everything that you worked for, and begin by documenting everything privately, ensuring that your finances are separated in a way that makes you feel secure. You can rebuild your support network, get back in touch with individuals that you've separated from and isolated from. Be careful also what you are sharing. One thing that I've recognized is they're, in many cases, being monitored. You may have someone that is surveilling your communications, your conversations, and your messages, your calls. It's important to have those things checked. Do your best to have conversations with people in person, especially when you're talking about legal things, and use discernment about what you discuss and how much you share. And it's not just about financial safety, it's about emotional and mental safety as well. Your well being here matters so that you can reclaim your future and your career. And if you're in a space where you're needing to exit from a situation, if you're needing to remove yourself, it takes time, and there's a strategy to ensure that there is not further damage done. Because oftentimes when you exit, it begins an entire war against you, and this control that had slipped allows for this person to completely destroy if you have not put the right safeguards in place. You can also focus on restoring your personal, professional reputation if that has been damaged. Start getting momentum there and close patterns of vulnerability. Begin standing firm in what you believe and what you know and who you are and what you offer to this world. And this gives you the opportunity to rebuild and have the future that you've envisioned before this person came in and began pausing it and began making doubt and question and delay. So remember that these steps can change everything if you start early. And in the next section, I do want to explore what you can do immediately to begin this journey. And depending on where you are in this, some of you may be in the early stages recognizing, okay, this thing is happening. I need to be more aware and listen to myself and what my body is telling me. Some of you may be in this where you've had financial entanglement, where assets are now together and you're noticing the financials tide, you're noticing the reputations tide. How can you begin to separate from that? A strategy is necessary. It takes time, because you also don't want them to recognize what you're doing, that you've caught on, because it can be damaging further. So what you can do today, within the next 24 hours, I want to provide you with a sense of urgency and control over your situation, no matter where you are. The first is downloading a free guide that I have, and I'll share a link to that and a QR code on this next slide. The 10 warning signs is your first step to recognizing potential threats. We've talked through, you'll have that guide. And the next would be to conduct your financial audit, to take a close look at your joint accounts, your shared debt, anything that you co-signed, and identify any financial exposure that you have currently so that you can begin the process of securing your assets. And next, documentation. Start a private document. I would not do this digitally unless it's online. Change your passwords, change where possible, access codes, things of that nature, because I have found that they may have that. They may be looking at things. Document privately so that you can log dates on things that were said, things that were done, and what happened. This is also for your own recollection and memory. You know this thing just happened, and confronting them with something may turn into a you didn't hear me right. That's not what I said. That's not what I did. That's not the truth. They will spin what happened. They will not admit. So it's important for you to document these things. Make sure it's stored in a place where only you can access it. And I encourage you to reconnect with one person today. Reach out to a friend or family member that you haven't spoken to in a while, somebody that you've pulled from, and just a simple check-in. I'm sure that they notice something is off. I'm sure that they've recognized this distance, and you can start rebuilding your support network. And you don't have to tell them these things are going on immediately. Check in to see how they're doing. But trust your instinct. If you feel like something has been off for more than a few weeks, that more than a few months is not just a season, it is an entire plan. I want you to stop explaining things that don't make sense to you and making excuses. I want you to name these things. The act of naming is the beginning of taking back your protection and power. And these are small but mighty steps that you can start within the next 24 hours. These steps lay the foundation for you, for what you built, your business, your career, the success that you've had, and allows you to advance towards the future that you envision, the future that you may feel slipping away. So, as we wrap up, I want to take a moment to think about the next steps you can take to safeguard your professional and personal future. So I'd like to invite you to find me after this session. I do offer confidential one-on-one discovery calls for professionals that are designed to help you understand your unique situation, talk through what's been going on, and get clarity without pressure or any judgment, because I have been there. I have not even shared an ounce of what I had experienced, and I would be happy to share more with you on a confidential one-on-one call. But I'm happy to hear from you. I'm happy to help you dig into your personal circumstances and dig in deeper and really explore the actionable strategies that we can tailor just for you. And don't forget that you can scan the QR code here to grab the warning guide. You can also book your strategy call. Those calls I book for 45 minutes, and sometimes they may go to an hour. So if you do book, just keep that hour in space for yourself. And I'd also encourage you to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram. So my LinkedIn is Brittanni Hendricks. I'll share my name at the end of the session. You can type it out. And the promotion coach is my Instagram handle. That is a new page that I've recently started and focus on helping professionals to position themselves for the next level in their career. And that was actually motivation to do that was talking to a lot of people who were destabilized, who started slipping back, who started shrinking themselves because of situations like this. And then there are others who just, they need strategies. They've been in the same position, in the same place for a long time. They're ready to move to the next level. So you can find me there. And so I want to bring together everything that we've discussed. I want to invite each of you to take the next step. I am available for the confidential one-on-ones. You have built something extraordinary. Do not let someone else determine what happens to it. Don't give that power to them. And what you've learned today is not theoretical. There are women all around us who are experiencing this exact situation and deeper things that we may not be aware of. It is preventable. The door is open, and I will be right here. Thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate you being here, allowing me to walk through this with you. This work is so important to me. There are so many incredible women who are struggling through these situations and they're confused. And part of my mission outside of what I do every day is to help bring these women, any of you such as yourself that are feeling this confusion and are done losing ground. Please connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me on Instagram. And I look forward to talking with you soon and seeing how much further you can go in your success. Thank you.